Alright, how are we doing? Today I wanted to introduce you guys to my big girl Micah here. Micah is a green iguana who is she's pushing 9 years old now. And I wanted to go over what it's like owning an iguana, or even a free-roaming iguana at that. So, as you can see here, they do get big. Having an iguana, in my opinion, is awesome as hell. So the first thing with these guys is that they can be very rewarding and fun. But, however, it's not a walk in the park taking care of these guys. Iguanas are they're very high maintenance when it comes to feeding them, when it comes to keeping their enclosures sanitary, and or keeping your home clean if you decide to let your iguana kind of free roam and stuff like I do with Micah here. Her spikes are shedding off. Okay, so one of the first things you do need to consider too with these guys is they need to have the proper husbandry in order for them to thrive and stay alive and all that kind of stuff. They need to have an ambient temperature range from about 80 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. No less than 75 degrees, because they're a tropical animal and they need their heat. They also need a very high humidity. So if you can, or if you're able to provide them with that and spray them down, or even let them go outside and get their sun, their vitamin D and all that, they're gonna thrive. Like my girl right here, I just let her outside, right out back here. It's nighttime right now, but in the daytime and when it's warm enough, I will literally just let her stay out there all day by herself. She'll just sit out there and sunbathe, bask in that sun, and her color gets super bright. You could just tell she feels good. It's good for her when she's digesting her food, all that kind of stuff. And note this though, this is just this iguana. A lot of other iguanas will, like, if they have that chance where they're outside and they're free, yeah, they might take off. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And there's a lot of other videos here on YouTube that you can check out and see other people's iguanas. I think for the most part they're all really chill, but they can also be pretty crucial when it comes to being territorial or angry or mean or whatever. So you just gotta be careful with how you go about it. What I did with her, ever since I got her, when she was just a little baby, like I've always had her out, so I've always been socializing her. She's always been around my kids and younger people, and then I also live in an area next to a main street, basically like a downtown area. And I've taken her out there countless times, so she's very used to social interaction with random people. But if you're also thinking of getting one to let them free roam, you need to consider a few things in your house, like, is it going to be safe for the iguana, considering if you have other animals or if you have children in the house and stuff like that. You don't want them bothering the iguana, causing the iguana to potentially attack them, because if these guys get a hold of you, they could do some serious damage. Their nails alone are like little razor blades. Like these things, I haven't cut hers, so you could kind of see how sharp they are. They hurt. I have plenty of scars from her. She's ripped my skin a number of times. Got some on me right now, actually, if you can see that. But their teeth are also sharp. But again, it all depends on the iguana. She's really good. She's really sweet. She's never bitten me. She nicked me one time, and that's only because I was feeding her. These guys are literally like the cats of lizards. You know, I have fake palm trees in my home that she will chill on and sleep in at night unless she wants to sleep on her heated pad that we have for her. Just like a cat would with their little cat tree thing, you know? Does your iguana need an enclosure though? That will all depend on your preference, but also it heavily depends on where you are located. Like if you're located in an area where the winters are really cold, or even at nighttime it's just really cold, it's not going to work out that well. You're going to need an enclosure because they need to have that heat, because otherwise they could develop all sorts of problems and end up dying on you, and you don't want that, right? No one wants that. We're out here trying to take care of these bad boys. But if you live in an area like where I live in Orange County, California, so, and I'm right next to the beach. It's usually perfect weather out here for an iguana. They don't run wild out here like they do in Florida, but Florida is also a really good example of how you could literally just have one running around your house. So I mean, that's also a factor that you're going to want to think of when you're getting these, is how much is it going to cost to get the enclosure? What kind of enclosure are you going to get? Where are you going to put it? Are you going to be able to keep it forever? I've had multiple enclosures for her, but I was just moving around too much with her, and that's how she ended up becoming a free-roaming iguana. The worst part about that is if you don't have them potty trained, it's not fun. It's the worst thing ever. Their feces is disgusting. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind. Like when they're little babies, their little poop is nothing. You know, it's like you scoop it up with a spoon, you know, and you clean up the whole mess. But when they get this size, they pack a good little punch when they use the restroom. And they're arboreal creatures, so they like to be on top of things. And if they want to shit while they're up top and there's a bunch of stuff underneath it, it's done. It's done. That's the worst part about having an iguana, cage or not. That is the worst part. It's the only thing I don't like. Other than that, they're really cool. They're beautiful. They're fun. They're chill. They're high maintenance, but they're very easy at the same time. It's just you got to stay on top of it. It's not like having a snake, to say the least.